Hello, welcome to the 13th session of the Walking Dead Universe role-playing game, Free League Publishing's Walking Dead Universe role-playing game. So welcome if you are new to the game, welcome to the channel. Hol upon solo sailgos, don't say that very often. If you are an old hand, welcome back. If you're a subscriber, thank you very much for subscribing. It is most appreciated. I am very appreciative. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider it. Each number helps, it really does help. If you like what you see, hit the thumb, please do. If you have any questions about the system or the way I'm playing or any suggestions, please suggest it. Again, I am trying green screen instead of having my messy paint stand. If you like this, do mention so. If you prefer my messy paint stands from the other sessions and from the other games, do say so as well. I can use that instead. Where did we leave our game? We left, Simon had returned to the Haven here after travelling up from where he had found himself, somewhere around here, I can't remember where. We now know where the Norse HQ is, it's somewhere in here. This is where the medical supplies are with the car. This is where Marsden Park used to be, but it's been sabotaged and attacked by Faith Reborn. This is where there have been lots of skirmishes with the Norse and Faith Reborn. Here's the Haven. So these are all the things we know about. Simon had completed the trek back to the Haven, has explained to everyone in the Haven what happened. Because he is numb, and he is still numb and emotionally detached, he told everyone what happened with Kai, and so I have notes that Simon is untrusted. So the rest of the Haven no longer trust Simon. So I went through and I created the Simon, including Mike Greenman, Mike Greenman's character. Mike, you can tell me if you like your character or not, and I will tweak it. But it needs to be around this because I rolled these bits. So, who do we have in the Haven? So the Haven, I'll put the picture up again. Will it be over there? Yeah, it will. It'll be there, won't it? No, it's going to be here. I always get this wrong, don't I? I always get this wrong. Got it sorted now. So anyway, this is what the Haven looks like. It's going to be here. We have now defended it, so it's got a wall around it. So that was done last session, if I remember rightly, by my notes. Oh yeah, there were crucified bodies up around Marsden Park. They found crucified bodies up and around Marsden Park. So, yes, we have, within the Haven, Joey came from Marsden Park. Joey is a construction worker, is expert at endurance, is trained in force and close combat. Then we have Anne. Anne is an ex-actor, is trained in stealth and close combat. Anne is the one that never sleeps and hears voices. Anne and the Major are the founders now because Simon and Kai went off. Then we have the Major, who is basically the de facto leader. He's stepped forward as sort of the strong, powerful alpha character. The Major is highly trained, is an ex-prison guard, warden, has some pistols, has manipulation, range combat, scouting, survival, and close combat. Then we have Jack, who is also Jackie, Jack Patel. They are our survivalist from up the northern end. They're missing an ear. They're trained in force and range combat they're expert at. Then we've got, we'll leave you till last, we've got Matt Kay. Now Matt is the one who is an ex-Norseman. I rolled it, so Matt is a mechanic, but ex-Norse, we don't know he's ex-Norse. He is an expert at tech and who also has close combat. He uses a wrench. So he is loyal to the Major because it said that when I rolled it, it said he's loyal to the strongest person. So he's loyal to the Major and he's an ex-Norseman. That's his secret, we don't know. Now, Mike, this is you. Mike, I rolled that you have a uniform, so I thought maybe you're police or you could be something else, but I've got you down as police. You've got expert range combat, trained in close combat and trained in mobility because you had 2 trained, 1 expert when I rolled it. For issues, it rolled up religious, which might work with Faith Reborn. But also, your secret is you were bitten, it said. But rather than being bitten and you're going to die, I thought you think you're immune. So Mike Greenman, the character, thinks they are immune because they were bit and they didn't die. The reason being the person who bit you wasn't actually a zombie. It was someone pretending to be a zombie and they didn't actually have the virus to give you, so you died and then turned. But in the back of Mike Greenman's mind is he's immune. He has a pistol and a club. So that's the 6 people who are in the Haven, not including, of course, Simon. Simon, for those people who are new, Simon took the scientist archetype. He is a trained psychologist who worked at the Prince of Wales Hospital in the PEC ward, which is Psychiatric Emergency Critical Care ward, with his friend Kai, who he got close to. Kai died a few episodes back. It will be up there. I'll put the link up there where Kai died. So Simon became shattered, is emotionally shut off and numb, but his issues were morally flexible, and the drive was there is always a chance. I will try everything possible. So that's sort of caught up. That's where the Haven is. I haven't done one of those relationship wheels that I've done so far with all the other Havens, all the other times we've had Havens, because, well, I don't want to say it's been wasted effort, but after doing that, the rest of the Haven all soon dies. So what we will now do is we are going to switch to our solo procedures. Now, we are in the end game, or the end run part of the end game. Everything that we do is going to be geared around the end game, which probably means that we will have more viewings of the Phase 3 Born. Solo procedure. 1. So how much time has elapsed? All right, let's say a few weeks have passed. So we'll say a few weeks have passed, and we will give Simon a chance that during this time he is going to attempt to sort himself out. So he is a trained psychologist. Maybe he's going to try talking to a few of the people. Maybe Jack, maybe the survivalist Jack will see, because he wants to do what's right and he's lonely. So let's give Simon a chance to build a relationship. So we've got Jack, who might be do. We've also got Joey, who, if I remember rightly, Simon did spend some time with Joey, trying to help Joey overcome some issues that Joey had. So build a relationship with Jack, and then maybe build with Joey. Joey is down as shy. So maybe Joey being shy will notice that the emotional shut-offness of Simon and try and approach him to try and help him because he helped Joey deal with the loss. And maybe Jack will just see the damage that's happened to Simon and try and help there. So let's give Simon a chance to, we'll do medicine. Empathy of 4, and we'll give him a medicine roll to try and fix himself up. So he is going to attempt talking. So Jack is going to try building a relationship with Simon. Simon is emotionally cut off. If we can get 2 hits, because I think this is going to be difficult, 2 hits, then we will say that Simon is beginning to sort out his problems, but he needs 2 hits. If he doesn't get 2 hits, then these few weeks have passed with Jack, and then we'll do one for Joey as well. But if he doesn't, well, let's see what he gets. Nothing, okay. So he doesn't open up to Jack. He's still very closed when Jack comes over and starts talking to him. So Jack is going to talk to Joey, and Joey will go over and start trying to talk to Simon. So this is a few times having conversations over meals, and Simon just isn't really talking and keeping really closed in. Not really so, he will stand in meetings, but he will not give his opinions. When told how is he doing. Okay, we've got 1 hit. So what we will say is Simon is starting to open up. So to Joey. So Simon is starting to talk to Joey. Right, I know why. So Joey has the loss of his daughter. Simon has the loss of Kai. Simon, who is emotionally cut off and emotionally shut and does what's needed and morally flexible, has dealt with that by thinking it was needed. This is just the way it rolls, and this is the way it's needed. So what we might do is I'm going to hold off doing the dearly departed letter until we've got Simon back on track, and then Simon can actually do a proper one, asking forgiveness and saying goodbye to Kai. So Simon has 1 hit. I reckon Simon needs 2 more hits. 2 more hits needed, and then he has dealt with the emotionally shattered. He's less numb and he's more useful. So at the moment, though Simon is our primary character, I think Simon steps back in the story slightly. We will use the Major and a few other characters to go primary in the story, as Simon is just going to be. So if it was a TV series, we've got our character got shattered, and then we're going to see some of our secondary characters take the fore, as a few of them try and help fix Simon and make Simon better, and then hopefully by the time we come up near the end, which is probably like I was saying 15, which I think by my so this is 13, yeah, so we've got 2 more, so probably by the end of this arc we'll have Simon back out. That's, you know, if we were writing it, that's what we would aim for, and we'll see where the dice go and see what happens, but that's what we're going for. So they've started talking to Simon. Simon's coming out of his shell. A few weeks have passed of that. Now we'll do the clocks for our challenge sheet, and we'll see what comes up. So we've got the Norse HQ located in Liverpool. Doesn't progress, surprisingly enough. It's on 1 tick now. The Chapel Swarm, that's on 5 at the moment. Still doesn't tick. We've got Canned Good Warehouse. So there's a warehouse full of canned goods. That's on 1 tick. That still doesn't progress, okay? Then we've got the lab team, who is in the middle of the city. They're on 4 ticks at the moment, 6, so that goes up 1. So something might involve them. Then we've got the St Ives goodies, that's on 3 ticks at the moment, 3, still doesn't go up 1. We've got the Norse and their HQ, that's on 5 at the moment, 6, all right. Something is going to happen with the Norse and their HQ. And then we've got the Faithful Reborn, this is Endgame, that goes up. All right, so that says to me that Faith Reborn identifies where the HQ is and hits it. Even though we had our team, our medical, like our science team went up, the Norseman is cleared now. All right, I'm going to think about that as we deal with our next bit. Our next bit is update your Havens projects. Now, we did our project of securing defence in the last one, so let's have a think of what we could do as this project and this aim, and that will then maybe tick into what we're all going to go and do as part of our run. So we are feeling a bit nervous, and an increase in our defence might be good. Or gear. What could we do? Let me look back on the notes of what the Norsemen had. Okay, so the Norse have a lot of cars and gasoline. That works with Matt Key being a mechanic. They need food. Their base draws walkers, so they know about their base. All right, so what shall we do? Okay, let's say that we know that Faith Reborn are coming. We know that we might need to defend ourselves. We know that Faith Reborn, if I remember rightly, Faith Reborn, when I rolled them, they have lots of guns, lots of weapons and ammo. So they have lots of guns. So we need something a bit more to defend ourselves. So we've got in building gear, Molotov cocktails. So we could get a lot of Molotov cocktails. Now we could say we've got bottles and we've got the tech, but we don't have the gasoline. We don't have petrol. Now we know that the Norse have petrol, and we know the Norse are being bothered by Faith Reborn. So how about our current project is building Molotovs, Molotov cocktails. So we don't need a big workforce for that. That just needs a workforce of 1, and he's finished in a very short time. But we do need petrol. We need petrol to do that. So what else could we do? So we also know, because that's not going to take very much. That's a workforce of 1. Let's see if we could get something else. Our capacity only stands at 1 at the moment. We could try and bump our capacity to 2. So it's got as a thing to get your capacity to 2, like beehives. So something to plant. So we could say, so it says we need a tech of 3. Simon's got a tech of 1. We've got Matt, who's our mechanic, has a tech of expert. I think expert count. Experts have tech of 3. All right. So him having a tech of expert means that we could actually get our capacity. So we're going to go for, we're going to try and get some fields. So there was, I think in that thing there was enough grass. So next door, we're going to try and plant crops. So equivalent beehives, plant crops, which will give us a capacity of 2, which means that we can have more people. The time is months, so we'll say 8 weeks, and the workforce is 4 people. What we need is some, so we've got potato field is a capacity, goes up to capacity of 3. So we're just planting quick turnover crops. So we need seeds. So what we need is seeds. Tech 3, wild beet. All right, Tech 3. So we need seeds that we don't have, and we also need petrol to build us some Molotovs. So that's our projects. Decide on a challenge and activate it. If the faction clock is fixed, okay. So the one place that we know we can get petrol is the Norse. We know the Norse are having skirmishes for Faith Reborn, but we know where Faith Reborn is around that area in Marsden Park. Why don't we take what car we can find from the Haven? Now it's going to take 5, so we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 squares gets us to the Norse, and it means we're going through Blacktown. I went to Blacktown this weekend. I went away for the weekend with Mandy when we went camping, and we actually drove through. Here's interesting. We drove through Lighthorse Junction, where Kai died. We drove through that there and back when we went camping. We also drove past the RAF, Royal Australian Air Force base, which is the base where Simon actually went through. We drove past that. It was quite cool. It was quite weird driving past these places. As we drove out past the mountains and to the far side of the mountains, we went to Bathurst, a place near Bathurst called Hills End. But we drove through all these areas, and we went to Featherdale Park. It's like a wildlife. It's like a massive petting zoo with animals. And Featherdale Park is in Doonside, which is here. Doonside, which is right near Blacktown, which is near where the Marsden Park was, right like down from Marsden Park, around Doonside, around the area there. That's where we went. So it's really weird. It was weird because like we live around here, and so we drove out and then drove back, and I was saying, oh, Simon killed Kai here. Anyway, I digress. So if we can travel down to the Norse, then we can get gasoline and petrol, and we can talk to them, and we can try and find that stuff out, and we might be able to get from around those areas. There's lots of places around there that we might be able to pick up seeds and scavenge seeds on the way down and the way up. Now, what we have learned, I think, particularly as we've got swarms that move around and as we travel down, what we have learned is we don't travel in 2s and 3s, we travel mob-handed with at least 3 people, preferably 4, so someone can shout help and we can get 3 people, and we can then get rotating bodies if someone goes down. So we have 7 people in the Haven. We think maybe what we will do is we will keep Joey at home, and if I look up that last one, who did it? Did Anne? Anne liked, there we go. Anne was friendly towards Simon, but Simon got annoyed by Anne, but Simon's sort of like off at the moment. The Major admired Simon, but Anne was annoyed by Kai, and Kai and Anne worked. So Anne wouldn't be so sad that Kai has gone. There we go. Anne wouldn't be so sad that Kai has gone. The Major trusts Anne, and the Major would look at Simon. And so then we've also got Matt, who's the Norse bloke who looks up. So Anne would go, Matt would go, the Major would go, Jack would go. We will leave Mike and Joey behind to look after the base, and then we've got Simon. So we're going to get 2 utes, a ute, utility vehicle. We're going to get 2 utes to attempt to get petrol back, so as we can build Molotovs to defend ourselves and get some seeds so we can start growing the area. And maybe we can find some people along the way to come join the Haven, because we need the bodies. But anyway, so we're going to grab 2 utes and we're going to head down. So our goal, so this challenge, decide on a challenge where other NPCs interact with this challenge, embark on a run, otherwise engage with the challenge, return to... Right, so this is the challenge. The challenge is we are going to attempt to head south to the Norse, and we're going to go talk to the Norse. Now the point of this is also we're going to try and build a relationship with the Norse. So first off, we're going to head now. So we load up and everyone's ready. So we've got enough food. So let's check this run bit for food. I think it's equal to the Haven's capacity value multiplied by 2. So the Haven's capacity value is 1 multiplied by 2 is 2. So we have 2 days worth of rations, which is 1 day to get out and 1 day to get back. So we can basically go for 2 days with the amount of rations that we can take with us. Moving around, while you're on foot, you can cover 1 sector per day. With a vehicle, you can travel faster. The table vehicle, so we've got our cars. We can do 5 sectors, which is enough to travel from the haven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So probably be able to get down there, and we might not be able to do the whole run in one session, but we're going to come from the haven 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and attempt to go down to the Norse. Okay, so we are all together. I will draw a little thing with these our cars. So we have our convoy of 2 utes travelling. So we've gone from the haven across to Forest Glen or Fiddletown. Fiddletown may not be in this area, but it's a bit. So we're coming across this way, which is probably by one of these little roads, going off to join our major road, and then travelling down the major road down here. I'm not too sure what that is. We might even cut, no we travel all the way down this, I guess that's A33, all the way down. That's our plan. Our plan is to come across, join the A33 down in Glenorrey, and then travel down there. So we will go through each sector one by one, doing what we do. Entering a new sector, when we enter a new sector, we make a scout roll. So we have Simon's scout, which is a 3 for his wits and a 2 for scout. Simon has a map which gives him +2 for scout. He doesn't have binoculars or anything. Now, who's travelling with him? Anne does not have scout. The major is trained with scout. Trained means he gets +1 dice, and that's it. So Matt is coming too. Matt has got tech and close combat. So everyone got close combat? Anne's got close combat. Major's got close combat. Jack doesn't have close combat. Matt does. And then for range combat, we've got Major, Jack, and then Simon's got close combat and range combat. So we've got Simon has a wits of 3, a scout of 2, the map of 2, and the major's helping. So we move into that first sector. We moved across that first sector. We've got 2 hits, which is good. Failing the scout roll means that we are spotted. Succeeding scout roll means that we see it. Rations we don't need to worry about. Hunting we don't need to worry about. Scavenging we don't need to worry about here. NPC run we don't need to worry about. What we want is travelling. The 6 means that we have an encounter. So let's roll a 6. D6. 2, nothing. Okay, so we've moved into that sector. Nothing to see. Then we will go south to another sector that we've never been before, which is Rouse Hill near Glenhaven. We're moving to here, so we've moved across down to here. We've got 3 hits this time. Is there anything in here? Nope. Then we will go down again. This is now at Blacktown. This is near where Featherdale Park is. Maybe we can get some food. We get no hits. Okay. This is where, if we've got an encounter, this is where I'll roll a double high to see if we've got an encounter. Nope. Next, we're coming down near Fairfield. This is the next sector before where the Norse is. 3 hits, so we'll go for the lowest of these 2. No thing. And now we're coming into where the Norse is. No hits. Okay, so we move down into the sector. Now the thing is about where the Norse are. So we've just come all the way down here where the Norse, no problem so far. Where the Norse are is we don't know exactly where it is, so that's why we've not got a pinpoint thing, which was suggested by Mike Greenman. So we're in this sector, we're going to start patrolling around and we're trying to find where the Norse are, which isn't difficult because we have strolled into this area and we can see. So it's 10 kilometre wide area. There is a lot of sounds like gunfire coming from the distance, and we're going to start moving over towards it. Now, I'm going to say that now what does it say when we fail? When we failed that roll, failing the scout roll means that people or walkers in the sector will spot you first. If you travel by vehicle, you also must travel one fewer sectors that day as something is blocking your route. Well, we failed that one last bit, but what we're going to say instead is that this area here, we do get where we're supposed to be going, but they notice us and we get caught up in a combat, a skirmish, which is occurring between the Norse and Faith Reborn. So let's describe Faith Reborn. Faith Reborn, they are wearing ramshackled clothing. Mostly, let's give them a black, very sort of Catholic religious sort of flavour to them. They are covered in crosses. It looks very extreme what they're doing. Shall they use? So one of their things was they've got lots of weapons and ammo. Okay. Cult following their leader, religious code, have left old world morals behind, and they're brutal. Okay, they are using human shields. They're using collections of people, moving them up. The Norse, who are mainly use melee weapons, are being held down. All right. So on this bit of this map here, where the Norse is, which is near Liverpool, we've got a petrol station. This is where this is occurring. So actually, no, we've come down here. So as we've reached this part here, we're on a high part, and we can actually see across that there's lots of smoke coming from over here. So we move over to this area, around this area here. So I don't know what it looks like. I'll look it up when I process this. But we're coming over this area here, and this is where we can see that there's a big mound, and that this is obviously where the Norse base was. And the Norse base is under siege. So the Norse base is under siege from their Faith Reborn. Now, what can we do? How can we do this interest? Okay, so Faith Reborn, we're gonna watch. All right. So a small. Okay, let's start first. First. A small team has spotted us because we failed our scout roll. Now we're going to ask the Oracle, is the small team the Norse or is the small team Faith Reborn? Now Faith Reborn means it's a fight, Norse means that we're going to start talking to them. So, is it Faith Reborn? It's complicated. So, we have come across, so what I'm now going to ask is it Faith Reborn again? Okay, cancel out, it's complicated. So constantly we're saying it's complicated. So what I'm going to say is we've come across a small skirmish from a small team of Faith Reborn and a small team of the Norse. Because it's a small team of the Faith Reborn and the Norse, there is, let's say there are 3 Norse and 3 of Faith Reborn, okay? Faith Reborn, one of the Faith Reborn is back with ranged combat, and 2 are in close combat with the 3 Faith Reborn. They're all trained. Yeah, all right. So we've come into the area. We've failed our scout roll. The trucks have turned. Both the utes have turned a corner where there's a junction. The junction is obviously we've got some guy who's in a vehicle at the back who's taking pot shots amongst some smashed out cars where you've got 5 people and they're skirmishing, and there's just a fight going off where we turn the corner and there's a fight, and so we're going to have to do a fast retreat. So the major is going to have to make a driving roll. Oh no, we'll have Simon's driving because he's got that skill. So Simon's going to have. So we've turned a corner. There's a crossroads junction. We've got a bunch of people in the middle who have come across. Obviously, they've stumbled on each other. We've got one group which is all dressed, Norse, lots of tattoos, lots of sleeveless shirts, big muscles, big sledgehammers, massive beards, shaved heads covered in tattoos. They look like they mean business. They are built. And then we've got a bunch of equally big blokes, but all very clean cut, all like less, the weapons they're using looks less aggressive, but they're fighting just as viciously, and these have clashed. And then we've got some guy in the distance who's attempting to take pot shots, and the Norse don't have a ranged weapon to take shots on. We now have to try and get into it. If Simon can succeed a maneuverability roll, which he can use speed freak, which gives him +2 to drive rolls. He can get round the corner, otherwise we are all caught in a crossfire from the person with ranged combat. If we can get around the corner, we're okay, and we can then do ranged combat or choose to go into close combat. Otherwise, we're stuck in it. Windscreens get shot out. We have to get into it. One success is enough for Simon to stick it into reverse quickly, stick it around the corner, and everyone bundles out of the vehicles. The Major then is going to take charge. Australian accent. All right there. All right. Always going to slight South African. So what I want you to do is you Jack, get up on the roof, start laying down some fire. You Simon, get around that corner, lay down some fire. The rest, we're going in. We need the Norse on our side because we need the fuel and they can get us the seeds. Who these other fellas are, kill them. So I think that's right. I think the Major likes giving orders, and he wants to get revenge and kill the enemy. I don't think the Norse has upset the Major too much. So we're now in a situation where we will just do rolls and see what we see, and we'll knock people out. So if I remember, we haven't done this in ages. Solo combat. All right, we're going to say that they are expert, which means we need 2 successes. So Simon is going to need 2 successes, and we'll need 2 successes, and then we'll work it through. We've got Anne, who's going into hand to hand, Matt, who's going into hand to hand, and then the Major will go into hand to hand. Is that right? Hand to hand, hand to hand, Matt hand to hand, and then Jack and Simon are going to do range combat, and we're going to try and take out the dude at the back. So first off, we will have people charging in. We'll say we need 2 successes for a hit. Simon is going to use range combat, which is a 1, agility, which is a 3, and we have Jack assisting. Jack has expert in range combat, and I think expert gives us a 2. I think trained is a 1, and expert might even be a 3. So we get a trained gets +1, an expert gets +4, and a master gets +6. So it's +4. That seems too many. So Jack is an expert, and we get +4. That's what it says. It says we get +4. So 8 dice. So we get a total of 8 dice. We need 2 hits to do any damage. No hits. Okay. So what Simon's going to do is Simon is going to take 1 stress, and Simon's going to start shouting for Jack to continue firing as Simon is going to relocate to slightly closer. We get 2 hits. So 2 hits means you get the required number of successes. Only you get at least once. Only you deal damage. So required number of successes. We deal damage. We are going to take the ranged combat guy who's at the back out, which is going to leave the Norse and Faith Reborn still skirmishing in the centre of the street. Because they're skirmishing in the centre of the street now, and our people have now had the ability to get in close, Matt is going to start shouting something in a language that we don't really understand, which is going to be Old Norse. Let's roll. But Simon, who was suspicious of Matt to start off with, is going to glean that this is because Matt knows who these people are. So Matt is starting doing that. Simon is going to start running in. We've got our people who have gone into the combat. We've got 3 of our people who are going into close combat with their people. So I am going to pick, has anyone got expert? No, they're all only trained in close combat. Simon has got 2 close combat. He's probably the best. So they would get 4 + 1. They would get 5 dice. If Simon was in there, he would get 5 dice. So we will do 1 roll of them all going in. So this is just them going in. So Simon won't take damage for this, but he's going to go in for the next round. They take no hits. So no hits, you fail and get no successes. Only your enemy deals damage. So basically, someone is going to... So we've got 3 people going in. We've got Anne, Matt, and the major have gone in. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, which is the major. So the major gets stabbed. He has got 2 hits. He's got 1 hit left. So he's been stabbed and damaged. He's bleeding, but he won't give up because of the way he is. And that was that round. Everyone is still up. We don't know whether it's a Norse who stabbed him or one of the Faith Reborn. Matt is still shouting. Let's give Matt a rise. What's Matt got? Matt hasn't really got anything, so we're going to give Matt 4 dice roll. If he rolls a hit, then the Norse are going to acknowledge that Matt is one of them. He gets a hit. So the Norse are no longer going to be a threat against us. They now know that we are on their side. We are now overpowering them. Simon is going to get in. So that means Simon will take his 3 for strength. He's 2 for close combat. He's got a crowbar, which I think gives a +2. +1. Crowbar gives a +1. Oh yeah, I've got it written down there. Crowbar gives a +1. So what did we have? We had 3, 2, 1, and he's got his 1 stress. So Simon is now in, so Simon will roll for the group. We get 1 hit. That's not enough. So maybe, all right, what we're going to do is we'll give a, because everybody is trained in close combat. Nobody is an expert, so we'll get a +1. No. All right, so so Simon is going to get stressed by this. Simon is going to start screaming orders. Even though he's numb, there's a time and a place to be numb. So Simon will start screaming orders, particularly because the major has been stabbed, and so Simon's going to try and take over. Screaming, yes. So we get 2 hits, which means that we deal damage to them. So one of them goes down. There's only one of the Faith Reborn standing, but that's probably enough to do damage. But we did do a walker, so we will say that the shots going off in the firing means that we're on 2 or a 3. A 3 means that they know we're hit 3. We'll go with 3. So walkers are starting to appear now. So we bumped that up. Walkers are starting to appear. This is where we might get some attacks from people. We have 1 of the Faith Reborn left, so we no longer need to get 2 hits. We only need to get 1 hit. In the final round where the skirmishing is happening, Jack has now dropped their assault rifle and is now running in to try and support everyone, because we might have a swarm come up if we roll another walker on this. As we do a final rallying, attempting to, as the Faith Reborn is really fighting hard. We get 1 hit, no walkers. That Faith Reborn goes down, but I think when we hit a 3, we're supposed to go up to one more stress. So we'll go up to 3 stress now, as we take the last of the Faith Reborn down, and the Norse stand there and start to talk to Matt, who is now exposing that he knows the Norse, and they look a bit worried actually. They look a bit panicked because they know what's going on, and what we know, because I just said it, is that their base is being under siege at the moment, and Faith Reborn have come into this area and they're attempting to clear the Norse out en masse with firearms. So they were sent out as a recon team to see if anyone else, and got stopped by this other recon team. Now Simon is going to attempt to do medicine on the major who's bleeding. We need 1 hit. Oh, 2 hits. So Simon is going to treat the major, and we're going to give the major everything back. So he's still battered. He's still like bandaged up, but he's injured now. The Norse will then start to speak to everyone. We've got the major, who is an expert at manipulation. Then we've got Simon. Okay, as the Simon and the major, that's all the black dice. The Simon and the major are going to start speaking to these Norse, and we've got 3 stress dice. Start speaking to the Norse through Matt and attempt to basically tell them that we can help them. We've got a truck full of ammunition. We've got rifles. We've got some additional rifles because the major would have brought stuff, and we can help fight against Faith Reborn. And if they are willing to help us, but it might be big. If they can get us to speak to the leader of the Norse, then we might be able to help them. Oh, that goes well. Yeah. We might be able to help them. So what we need is, they're not going to like us. We've had problems with them in the past. So we need 2 hits on this to get anything. How about 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, no walkers. 4 hits, no walkers. Okay, so the Major is doing the primary talking. Simon is chipping in to help, and the Norse have started to drift back into English and out of Norsemen Matt and have started to talk to us. There's 3 of the Norse there. None of them are lieutenants. They all say, we don't know what they're going to do. We don't know if they'll accept you, but we're willing to take you in. Let's grab these people's stuff, grab their truck and see if they've got any additional gear, and we'll try and take you round to the back way into Valhalla. But we are pledging for you because you helped us here. Don't let us down. So everyone will pile back into our utes. We'll grab all the stuff that Faith Reborn had. We'll load that into the Norse's vehicle, which is like a massive tricked out, a double cab ute up there. Hilux. It's probably a Hilux, isn't it? Really, just really tricked out Hilux. But, and this is an in-joke, there is no hat stand on the back seat. They will then load it all in, and then we are going to go off to where the Norse headquarters are, which means I'll change that from a flat to a point because we'll know where it is. And there's like a back way through various different vehicles that have been sort of left lying around. There's walkers everywhere here. So we've loaded up quickly. So let's do a mobility roll. Let's do a scout roll. Scout roll, 3, got 3 stress, 2 for scout. We'll say, who's with us with scouts? We've got Major is trained in scout. We've got the Major who's trained in scout. But we'll say one of them is one of the Norse is an expert in scout. And we'll see if we can load up the vehicles without getting caught by a walker. So we're keeping our eyes out for walkers. Yes, we've got 1 hit. So we don't get trapped by any walkers. We rolled no walkers, and also we got at least 1 hit. So we're able to transfer stuff. There's lots of walkers in this area around here, particularly because there's lots of gunfire coming off and some loud, like heavy caliber automated weapons, automatic weapon fire. We're not like, they might have mortars, but they're not getting the mortars out yet. And so the problem, so some of the things that we're talking to the Norse as we're doing is that they're thinking they need to scout the Faith Reborn to see what they've got, and then they need to work out a counter for this point, so to a counter offensive for the clearing of the Norse, and then lastly they need to find their base and hit back to try and clear them out of this area. All right, so that gives us something for the next 2 sessions, and that is where we might leave it. So we have made contact with the Norse down where they are. We will end this session with that part of the run, so we haven't returned to base. We will continue next session in talking to the Norse's leadership, and then either returning back to base if that goes badly, or we might do one of these runs, like maybe scout out Faith Reborn and the forces that they've got which are attacking, and see if we can do a counter against them next session. And that's it for this session. Thank you very much for watching all the way to the end. We will reconvene in a week's time for more The Walking Dead universe role-playing game. Have a good week. So yeah.